Hello, fiber fans, friends, and followers. My name is Beth, and I'm here to talk to you about all of the yarny things I've gotten into recently. In fact, not so recently as well, because today my plan is to go through all of the works in progress that I still have, including everything that has been languishing for ever. So I do know that there are some things that I've probably lost track of or are off in some corner or whatever. I'm not going to go digging up things, but my plan is to go through everything that I have in a massive pile next to me, some of which you can see back here. Yeah, I've got a lot of stuff. So I'm thinking about how to go through this in an orderly way. And because of the monumental pile that I have, I don't know that I could have prearranged this. The one thing that I did prearrange is that I decided I will go through my, my crochet items first. But before I get into that, please like, subscribe, and tell all your friends that PandemicKnittr has a podcast that it's unbelievable how many whips she has. And let me talk about what I'm wearing. Oh, and let me get into some other, a little admin. This bag, I still have this bag because the winner that I drew, she lives in Sweden, and I'm so sorry, Birgit. It was cost prohibitive to send this to Sweden. So I offered her a pattern instead. I gave her her choice of patterns, and I sent her a pattern from Ravelry. So with that in mind, I wanted to choose again from the names that I had of who was commenting on the video where I offered this bag. So backing up, this is a bag from Sandy, who is a podcast fan, and she makes these wonderful bags. So thank you, Sandy. I love having these bags and being able to give them away. People love having them. I get so many comments just because I'm giving these away. So what I did is, unfortunately, I was not recording. I just kind of happened to come into the room and I saw that the hat was still sitting here with all the names in it. So I just shook the hat and one fell out on me. And that was Susan Smith. So Susan, if you want it, I know you're a bag maker yourself. You're probably inundated with your own bags. If you want it, this bag is yours and I will send that to you. Later in the episode, I will probably grab another bag from the closet and give a Sandy bag prompt for another one. And so that will have me mailing out 2 bags all in one time, most likely. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. So Susan, let me know if you want it. If not, I actually drew another backup name, but I'm not going to say who that is because, you know, I don't want to get any hopes up. Anyhow, let's get into what I'm wearing. This is the lovely Knitty McPurly pattern Fosette. Devin Ventrie of Knitty McPurly designed this beautiful pattern, and I knit it as part of a knit along. It is all done in Knitty McPurly yarn, her Dresden DK base. If you're interested in the colorways, that will be below. I have everything I talk about linked below. However, one caveat there. What I'm going to do with the bulk of my works in progress is I am going to just put a link on the video saying, here's my project page. If you're interested in any of the details, click here, and or copy and paste. I don't know if you can actually click the links, because I put the links there, but I don't think they actually work as links. Anyhow, you guys get it. Details below. So I know I said I wanted to do crochet first, but I think before I get into crochet items, I'm going to go with what I am currently working on, because I feel like that kind of makes sense to like update on the progress that I'm making. And so that is this big bag that you see back here. So those, I think I can easily just copy and paste over from last week's episode, because there's nothing new that I am working on quite yet. So this is Andrea Mowry's Moon Mint, and I have really not made, I think I did one round on this. So if you saw my last episode, I'm pretty much in the same spot. And again, Knitty McPurly yarns, and the bases and colorways listed below. And in order to save time, because I know I'm going to go through a lot of things on this episode, I am going to just kind of gloss over the yarn details. So you get the idea. You get the idea here. Okay, this is the knit along that didn't quite fully get knit along. This is the Flutterbutt Shirt by Jessie Made Designs. And this is how far I've gotten on it. It looks like just a big square, doesn't it? But it has armholes, it has a neck hole, and that is where my problem was. I think I'm gonna pause here and put it on so that you guys can see where I'm looking at some issues with this. So I'll be right back. Okay, so this is what it looks like so far. I just had to double check that I had the right part in the front, and I know I had this little stitch marker that you can barely see on the front. So I've got it on the right way. I'm not real happy with how this part is as close to my neck as it is. Like it feels kind of like claustrophobic. So I'm gonna see what I can do to fix that. I have just completed the back and attached it at the shoulders. Now, this is actually my second attempt, because on my first attempt, I completed it, tried to put it over my head, and couldn't get it to go all the way. So I'm sure this is entirely because of my gauge problems and the number of stitches I was supposed to do. It never even occurred to me that I was going to need to change how many stitches I put together here and how many I bound off for the neckline. So I think I'm back to the drawing board there, but I know that when I finish this, I will be happy that I did it in a way that I like it. So it's going to take a little extra thinking, a little extra time, a little extra planning, but I have already readjusted the number of stitches that I 3-needle bound off together on the shoulders. I like the fit of it as far as where this is. And I even like, I'm not gonna go too far upwards, because you'll be seeing my nice little roll in the middle here. But I'm pleased with where it's coming out, because what I had heard is you should let this land at the smallest part of your waist and then do the peplum bottom from there. So that's my plan. I believe the length is good. Also looking at here, you can't see my bra under there, which now you can because I'm pulling it down, but that's exactly what I was going for. So I'm really happy with the fit as far as the length of the top. I just need to figure out what to do with the neckline. I may even pull back the front and make this a deeper neckline. I don't know, because I'm not sure how to do that. So if anybody has any advice, I'd be happy to receive that in the comments below. So there we go with that. Flutterbutt shirt, Jessie Made Designs. This was a knit along from, with Knitty McPurly, and the knit along is well over, but summer is just starting, so I should be able to wear this through the summer season if I can get there with it. Okay, that's it for this one. My next current work in progress is this test knit. It is a shawl that was designed by Ksenia Nedyan of Life is Cozy, and it is a semi-secret test knit where we're not supposed to reveal the yarn that is, I guess it's going to be special for this, which I am not using that yarn, or the final shape of it. So I have section 1 of this completed, where you can see that it is not exactly a square, it's not a triangle, it's sort of a, what would you call that? A parallelogram, a trapezoid? I think it's supposed to be more of a parallelogram, but mine came out more trapezoidy. So hopefully I block this to where I want it to be, and when I add the next section, it maybe will help build to the shape that it's supposed to be. So that's where I'm at with that. Yarn details below. Okay, one more current WIP, and that would be the Berroco Blanket Mystery Knit Along. Now, I have not made any progress on this since the January squares, which I have shown before. So I've got 2 squares completed, and February is supposed to have 6 squares, which I have not even started on. This is all Berroco Vintage yarn. So in addition to these 2 colors, I have these 3 colors that will go on this blanket. So that's it for that. This is Berroco Vintage yarn, and I said I wasn't going into those details, so I won't. All right. I'm debating. Yes, I want to talk about a future cast on. One thing. This yarn I bought, this is woolen cotton from Knit Picks, and this is one of the this is, I think it's a 50-50 woolen cotton blend, but I have talked about this in a previous episode as a new to me thing. I recently bought the pattern for I want to say, I'll have it up here, but I think it's knitting.adventures is who she is on Instagram. So follow her on Instagram. This is the coolest looking summer top that I have ever seen. It's got cables. It's a V-neck. It's cabled down the front. It's got a cool cable across the back. So Anita Blyer is her name. And I remember years ago I test knit something for her. And so that's how I came across her, I think. It was probably like a hashtag test knit or something like that. And I saw this and went, I want to test that. Anyhow, this is my teal knit along thing for the Makers Meetup coming up in Hoffman Estates this July. Anybody who's interested in that, please see Penny of PJ Knits. You know what? I will link that below. This is what I've done in previous years, and I haven't thought about it until just now. I will add a link to the details from the PJ Knits discussion group on Ravelry, so that if anybody is interested in coming, you can come out to Hoffman Estates and we can meet and talk and chat and knit together, and even maybe go yarn shopping together at Wool and Company over in South Elgin. And with that, let's get back into works in progress. So, oh, my computer went to sleep. And it woke up very easily. So, what I had said is that I wanted to do crochet first. And the reason that I'm talking about my computer is because I'm looking at my Ravelry page to kind of refer to. But okay, in terms of what I most recently cast on, did I show this yet? A coworker of mine brought this in, and what happened is she said, do you crochet too? Because she knew I was a knitter. And I said, yeah, I crochet. So she said, I have something for you. And I was like, okay. So she brings this in and she hands it to me, open as it is, and says, I tried to do this. I couldn't do this. I'm not up to the task, but I'm sure you will be able to do this. And she said, you don't have to give it to me when you're finished, but whatever you want to do with it is fine. And then I kind of thought, oh, okay, so now I have to give this to her when I'm finished, which is fine. It's perfectly fine. But isn't it cute? Loops and thread. It's this little pig. Yeah, Crochet Kit Pig. So I started the tip of its nose, and it's all I got. It's just this little tip of its nose. So I don't want to pull everything out, but it is pretty cute. And I think Katrina needs this in her life. So I will give this back to Katrina once I complete it, but I don't know when that will be. So that was my first crochet thing. That's my most recent start of crochet. I think, if I'm not mistaken, my next most recent start, I have gone onto Ravelry on my project page and sorted them by recently started. So my next most recently started crochet project would be my Shark Week project from last year. So we're coming up on the anniversary of this. This is something that I was supposed to finish in a week. I had gotten nearly finished and decided it ain't gonna happen. So I have this, basically a square, and it is called Capullo. Now, Capullo is the base of it. It is a shrug, actually. It's a square that they put holes in to put your arms through. And I think they attached just cuffs. Well, for me, I wanted an actual cardigan. So These are Shark Week colorways from both Chicken Lady Fiber Arts and was it Holly's? I think it's Holly's Mystery Mouse Yarns. So these two were their Shark Week colorways, and it was my intention to put them together and make something lovely, and I do love this. I really do. I need to get back to this and finish it up. Maybe I should make this a goal for before this coming Shark Week to finish it up. I was supposed to frog it as part of the Shark Week promise, if you will. I have all these little balls because I did frog the sleeves. The sleeves, I did not like how they were coming out. So I have all these little balls of the stripes that I did on the sleeves, and there's a ton of them in here. Some of them are not so nicely wound up, but this is Capullo, and I will hopefully have that up here. Oh my gosh, I'm just realizing what a nightmare this is going to be in editing, because I'm going to have to find all the pictures from all these past projects. My next most recent crochet start, and I'm doing them in terms of recently started, not recently worked on. This was, okay, so this is one of those hexy cardigans, but we used the squared up pattern, and this was Carista of Wyoming Yarns. I assume it was a yarn shop. Knit along. I believe that's what it was. And so, as you can see, this is intended to be a cardigan. So there's one half of the cardigan, and then I've got the other half started. I have not finished either half of this, but look at how gorgeous those colors are, man. And this is just one yarn. This is, I know I said I wasn't going to go into yarn details, but yeah, it'll be on the project page. I think the squared up thing is, the pattern is by, it's Earth Unique Fingering. And I believe it was Earth Yarns that wrote that pattern. But if you are interested in crocheting a hexy cardi, just go on YouTube. You can find tutorials for that anywhere. You can do it in, and it's free. You can do it in any kind of yarn. There's a lot of them that just do it in acrylic yarn. So if you want a very affordable project, I highly recommend go on YouTube, find one of those, just do a search for hexy cardi or hexy cardigan, hexagon cardigan, I don't know. My next most recent crochet start would be this lovely thing. It is called Perfect Pockets. I don't know if I have been saying designer names, but it is by Sonia Hood, who is something like knotted, perfectly knotted or something like that. So this is a long scarf-ish wrap, I guess you'd call it. These are the pockets. All I need to do is sew the pockets on and then add fringe to the ends. So there is no reason that this went to the side other than I just really was not all that motivated to finish it. This is Lion Brand Yarns, and it is a project that a friend of mine wanted to have, and she asked if she bought the yarn, would I make it for her? And I said yes, and I just kind of haven't gotten around to finishing it. Sorry, Amber, I don't think you're watching, but My apologies. I will get it done. I will get it done. That will be a goal to have completed before this fall. That is one part of what I've been thinking about my works in progress is things that I've promised to people. I should get them to people sooner rather than later. Anyhow, my next most recent crochet start and my last would be, wait, let me look. Let me go through my projects. Yeah. This is my last crochet project, is the Reena Sweater. So I've got a whole bunch of little squares. Aren't they pretty? This is, I believe, the recommended yarn. 3 years ago at the Knitty McPurly retreat, I saw Carista of Wyoming Yarns wearing this sweater, and I thought, I need that in my life. And so this is as far as I've gotten as far as connecting things. I don't know where on the sweater this goes. I don't know if that's the front or the back. I assume this is the front because I left all these strings back here. So, isn't that pretty? I just love these blues. I need to finish this. I want to wear it. And it's super soft. Super soft. This is in, it's easy to find. Berroco Tiramisu. Lovely. And I remember the colorway is Bomboloni. I remember because it was so fun to say. And I'm sorry, I just kicked the leg of the table. I hope you all aren't getting dizzy and nauseous. Okay, that is all my crochet ones. So I'm gonna see, okay, I've got 2 things here that I have listed as works in progress, but they have not gotten past the stage of swatching. So this is the poly cardigan, and the swatching it stopped in the swatching phase because I have not decided what yarn I'm using. In fact, this is what I most recently bought for it, was a spin cycle. Is it Dyed in the Wool? Dream State yarns. This brownish color obviously is my main colorway, and I really think it would look good in this. I think this would be a great contrast color. I just haven't swatched with it yet. So that's as far as the poly cardigan ever got. And then my other one that has been left in the swatching stage is this one. It is called the Jean Sweater. And I remember seeing this sweater on Instagram. Information will be in my project page, so I'm not gonna do this one individually. This is going to be, so everything like from when I started the crochet projects, all of that will be just, if you want information, click on Ravelry. If you do not use Ravelry, feel free to comment below and ask questions if you have any questions about any of the things I'm talking about. But I saw this on Instagram. I saw the Jean Sweater and I thought, I want that. And it had not yet been out. And so I was watching for it to be released because I really loved this pattern. Do I have it the right way? I don't know if it goes this way or this way. But I liked how it has like these lacy bits and just the curvy. I saw the one that she had, and I was like, yes, please. And then I never got around to actually casting on. There was a knit along, and that's kind of why I went with, this is stash yarn that I've used, and I have not gotten any farther than that on it. So, next, let's see, my next most recent start. So this means I am going all the way back. This is my oldest actual work in progress. And it's amazing to me that I just looked down and went, oh yeah, it's in that project bag. This is a project bag I bought long ago to put this project in. This is the red Bara Sweater by Arna and Carlos. I started this a long time ago for my son. I started this according to my project page in April of 2021. Now, I went back to look at what I said in a podcast about it, because the first time I could find it on one of my podcasts was in episode 3 of the PandemicKnittr podcast. And what I had said in that is that I thought I maybe started it in fall of 21. Now, I don't know if April of 21 was a guess when I put that into my project page, or if my guess was more accurate when I was recording in 2022. I have no idea. But I've gotten as far as the sleeves on this, and I don't know whether these are the correct needles or not, based on things that I have done in the past where I just steal the needles out of things and end up going straight from there. So this is something that is intended for my son, Ian. He lives with me. I know that he is, so in 2021, he would have maybe just graduated from high school. I think that's right. In 2021, he had graduated from high school just barely. And so I think he was probably a different size back then than he is now. But I do think I have enough yarn. I mean, sleeves aren't going to change that much. But crossing my fingers that I have enough yarn to finish this. And I would like to finish this for him. It is like, it's the one thing that I have, like the one big thing, the one sweater thing that I've done for him. So I feel like I should do that. And I also, like, I know at one point in time, I was talking to Shannon and she's like, oh, you've never done anything for me. That's my daughter. And I'm like, okay, now I need to figure out what I can do for her too, because another thing, now this is not the next oldest. Where is it? I know I saw it recently. Oh, here it is. I also have a sweater that I started for my older son. Oh, this is just the incorrectly colored swatch. For my oldest son, I don't know why, I specifically remember being at my niece's backyard for a birthday party for one of her children and talking to my son about the Big Labowski and whether or not he wanted the cardigan from the movie. And so I started making this, and it's coming out great. So I don't know why I stopped on this, other than I just really have not felt the desire to work on it. I think it's just other things come along, and this is Knit Picks Wool of the Andes. And the other one, I don't remember. It'll be on the project page. It's there. So that is not the next most recent thing that I started. The next most recent thing that I started, which would be long ago, would be my Nomad Tea. Now, this is another one that I really want to get finished, and I would like that to be one of my summer works in progress. Can you tell that I'm looking around and cannot find it because I don't even remember what bag it's in? Okay, I believe where I left off was I was looking for my Nomad Tea, which I don't remember who wrote this pattern. I just remember that I love it and I wish I wasn't having so many problems with it. And I think I need to get over it. But you can even see from me holding this up how crooked it is. It's twisted. And that's because of how I ribbed the bottom. It was fine the way I first did it. Except for the fact that I know when I count stitches, I have more fabric on one side than the other. I think there's more on this side than there is on this side, which makes sense with how this is twisting, you know, because there are fewer stitches on this side. It's pulling toward that side. So, my fault. I did it wrong. Obviously, that there should be the same number of stitches on this side that there are on this side, but like nobody would write a crazy pattern that far off. But I need to undo the hem. So this bottom part, which part of it too is that I wanted to get all fancy and do something fun down here and make it so the color work goes all through that, because I felt like I didn't like how the lower edge was different, and I was trying to be fancy. I should not have done that because it made me just quit. So that was Nomad Tea. My next, this was one where I decided I wanted to do a Christmas in July episode when I was first podcasting. And so I cast on a pair of Christmassy socks. These are called Nordavind. And I'm guessing that I've already done something wrong on the color work as I started. I know what happened is initially I started these socks. My gauge was too tight because they're color work socks, and I've never, prior to this, I had not done any color work socks. This is also like a thicker weight yarn. I think it might be a DK. So yeah, I didn't know what I was doing. Nordavind socks, I still want to make them. And this is in, I don't remember the yarn. It's below. This one, wait, where am I at? This one, I want to say this was about not knowing where I was in the pattern. I bought this yarn at Cowgirl Yarns in Laramie, and I remember going to the yarn shop that day. There was a power outage at the house we were staying in, and actually it was all of Laramie had this power outage, which, you know, of course at the time I didn't know that. But my husband was working while we were on vacation because we wanted to see, you know, could he work from wherever we were. And at any rate, I'm sure this was some sort of weird anomaly. But this is, I don't even know what this is. I do not know what this is. What is this? Main cable chart. This is, I want to say it's a Thea Coleman thing. Wait, I have it right here. Vesper with a twist. So this is a bottom up, cabled all the way on the front pattern, but the back, we have this nice resting stockinette. So I remember loving the pattern, loving the yarn, everything about it, but then I got to a point and could not remember where I was in the cable pattern, so never kind of went back to it. And it wasn't necessarily anything about something being wrong with the pattern or something being wrong with the yarn, anything like that. It was just something new and shiny came along and I never got back to it. And I would like to finish this because it's a gorgeous thing. Vesper with a Twist by Thea Coleman. This next one came about from shopping at Wool & Company during, I believe it was during the Makers Meetup, or at the time it would have been called the Mini Meetup, with a the hosted by the ladies of 3 Ply Podcast and Frivolous and Frugal. Oh my gosh, look at that. Look at that gorgeousness. Look at how much I've got done too. This is, I want to say it's just called Plaid Wrap by Michael Vlodman. And it is a shop freebie. I mean, the pattern is a freebie, but this is all in Hedgehog Fibers singles. And I went with a dark main color, where the sample at the shop is like a very neutral, like a off-white, and it's the contrasts are like red and black or something, and so I went very different, but oh my gosh, do I love this. And it's very simple. It's a the color work, what do they call that, where you slip the stitches? You guys know what I mean. Anyhow, it's simple, fun. I just haven't really gotten back to it for no apparent reason. And that one I started, let's see. I started that one in November of 2022. So probably right around Thanksgiving. And then I skipped over. This one apparently was started before that. This is my Ingrid sweater, October of 2022. I started this one and I remember why I did not finish this one. Oh my gosh. Look at how gorgeous this is, you guys. I love you can see all these textures on it. This crisscross cabley stuff, twisted stitch. I love this. And it's mohair. I love this thing. Why have I not finished this? I will tell you why. I did not like the shape of the arms on it because I thought they were too bulky. I didn't like the fact that the body was bulky and the arms were bulky. I felt like I didn't like that look in general. So I don't know where I'm going to go with this. I also know that there was an issue with running out of mohair. And I know when I first started it, I said, I don't care. And now I think I care more. So I don't know. But this is Ingrid by Petite Knit. Yeah. Petite Knit. Oh, love that. It makes me want to go back to it and work through the headaches and get it done. Okay, so that one I had actually started before, which I said. Okay, next is Budding Brioche Blooms. This one, I specifically remember working on it at the Forest Preserve for a little bit. This says that I started it in May of 2023. I probably was working on it going like on my summer break, just kind of hanging out. This is made, I'm in the middle of a row, you guys, like almost to the end, but I'm sure I figured out that I did something wrong, and that's why I stopped where I did. So this is a pattern by Jennifer Shields Toland. I don't know which is the front. Yeah, this must be the front. So I remember that I used a kit of colors that I had gotten from oh my gosh, I didn't put anything on here. I put nothing on here. So I remember that it was a kit that you could only get as a kit from Expression Fiber Arts. And it's so soft and squishy, all of this brioche. And if I recall correctly, I wanted to expand this. I don't know what I'm doing with brioche. Why am I trying to change the pattern when I have no idea what I'm doing? That is my recollection of where things went wrong with that, is that I wanted to do more of what it said. I wanted to make a bigger shawl because I didn't like where it was going. Okay. Let's do a little sandy bag prompt. I'm going to go grab a bag, and then I'm going to think about what exactly I want to prompt as the giveaway response. Okay, I have this bag, and I have one more after that, and I will be seeing Sandy at the Makers Meetup in July, and she had said that she would bring me some tote bags again. So thank you, Sandy. You are the best. So this is the one that will be given to the person I draw at random. Look at these colors. Like, this is, man, I want to keep them all, but I don't. Seriously, I'm giving them away because I need less stuff in my life, as you can see by everything that I have overwhelmed you with, I'm sure. And if you're not overwhelmed, it's because you're not here in the middle of it. And I just realized this right behind me, this blanket that is sitting over my rocking chair, that's probably my oldest work in progress. It wasn't even on Ravelry. That's how old of a work in progress it is. Anyhow, so I know I have asked previously about works in progress, and I feel like I don't know that that's a good way to go. How about, what is your oldest work in progress, and why have you not finished it yet? I'm curious to know, do you guys find yourselves in the weeds on something because you made it overcomplicated like I do? Or is that unique to me? Am I just, do I like to overcomplicate things? And such is my life, which, I mean, it doesn't only extend to my crafting friends. It is life itself as I know it. So if you would like to be entered in the drawing to win this beautiful bag, please comment below with your oldest work in progress and What has stopped you from completing it? Is it just waiting to be frogged and you can't bring yourself to do it? Or what's the situation? And I'm sure I will be diving into all of your comments, and I frequently find myself heading over to Ravelry to say, ooh, what's that? I've never heard of that on some of these things. So I'm curious to know what you got. What you got? Okay. My next, believe it or not, I'm not done yet. I counted on Ravelry. On Ravelry, I have 24 works in progress. I actually do have this on Ravelry, and it's listed as hibernating, and that's why it's not showing up on the page that I'm looking at right here on my computer. I should look back and see if I can find any more, but this is the Taos Blanket, and I'll put a picture of that up too. And it's all done in, I believe, Lion brand yarns. I did the recommended colorways, I think, that they used in the pattern, but that one has been on my needles for years. I've talked about it in a previous episode, where I have made some major mistakes on that, but it works. It works here. The knitting needle is still in it. You probably can't see that down there. But the knitting needle is still in it, and I sit on that chair with the knitting needle on it because it doesn't really bother me. But that is probably my oldest work in progress. Where was I at? Where did I stop? Oh, okay. So the last thing I showed was the budding brioche blooms. Now, my next one on here shows as the Reena Sweater, which is my oldest crochet work in progress, and I've already talked about that. So my next work in progress that has gone to sleep is this one. Oh my gosh, there's not even a needle in it. So this, look at that texture, you guys. Oh, gorgeous. So this is La Prairie by Joji Locatelli, and I stopped on this one because I did not think that I was going to get a good fit on this, because where I am, I thought this armpit is not deep enough. It's going to bunch up right here, and that is going to be very uncomfortable. But I also thought, at this point in time, I don't remember if I blocked it to see if that would help. I assume that's why it is on waste yarn instead of on the needle. Although it could be just I needed the needle and took it out of there. So I just love these colors. This is so right up my alley with colorways, and it is intended as a fade, which is why I did it as a fade. And this, I also had bought this yarn at Cowgirl Yarns in Laramie, Wyoming. I was going to say that was a different trip, but I don't think it was. It was not a different trip than the one where I got all that brown alpaca yarn for Vespa with a twist. It was just another trip over there on the same trip. I remember going to this yarn shop, and my husband was with me when I picked this one out. And this is Something Cat Yarns. And she had a trunk show there that day, and my husband was there with me. It is Herd of Cats Road Trip Sock. And she has many different colorways that kind of fade into each other, and I have a whole bunch in this bag. Yeah, and this is, I think this is the first meetup that I went to. So yeah, it's still in that bag, which is from 2022, and according to my Ravelry page, I started this in September of 2023. My next work in progress, my next most recent start. Oh, yes, I remember. Okay. This says that I started it. Wait a minute. I'm going to look at it. This says that I started in November of 23. I remember swatching for this at the meetup. And this is in Rowan Felted Tweed. This is the Pressed Flowers cardigan by Amy Christophers. And I just, up until recently, I would have called this a current WIP. Up until maybe sometime in the spring, I feel like. And then it sort of went by the wayside with some of my test knits and knit-alongs, things like that, that just kind of took precedence, and that's the only reason. Plus, I made a mistake, and anytime I make a mistake, I know I'm going to have to focus on it. I'm going to have to go back and fix it. It's not a big mistake. Not a big mistake. This is an easy to fix mistake. I just need to fix it. Next work in progress is, this is surprising that this is my next one. Christmas. I don't remember starting this at that same time, but I guess I did. So this is Hinterland. It is a pattern by Jennifer Steingass. Really, all I have left to do is the cuffs, you guys. I wore this to school this past winter because I knew I was close to finishing, and I thought, well, I didn't quite finish the cuffs, and that's it. I do think that I was not entirely thrilled with how the body came out. I don't remember. I'd have to go back and watch a podcast or two to figure that out. But I can easily get this done. I've got plenty of yarn in here. I still have a full skein of this. I think what I did is I bought an extra skein so that I could make matching socks. And I found today, when I was going through all this stuff, I found a project bag. It was like a bucket bag that I had gotten from Susan of Delightful Works. And it had 2 skeins of Christmassy sock yarn in it. I haven't even begun to cast that on. All right, so this is, are you as overwhelmed as I am? This is a lot. This is a lot. Okay. This one has been sitting by the couch. I know, it's another brioche. Oh my gosh, brioche and lace shawl that I just love it. It's so beautiful. I don't know which side is the front, but I messed something up in the lace. And so I have repeatedly taken it out and gone, okay, where did this go wrong? But I just love this thing. It's so pretty. This is Carolon Shaw by Leila Francombe. And who is she? She has a different Ravelry name, I feel like. Maybe she is just Leila Francombe. I feel like she's Leap of Faith or something. Maybe I'm thinking of Instagram, or maybe I'm thinking of someone else altogether. Anyhow, I started this one. I can't tell you how many shawls I've started just because I think they're pretty and I want to learn how to make these things. And then I get myself in the weeds and decide, well, I wasn't going to wear it anyway, so I might as well just put this off to the side. So that's what happened with that one. My next WIP is almost complete. I don't know whether I've shown this recently. This is the Davenport cowl. I don't remember who designed it, but this green part gets stuffed inside, and then there's like a 3-needle bind off at the end so that it's just a pop of color inside. So as you wear it, you really don't see much of that green, but it is that accent color that will just kind of pop out when you're wearing it. I made it in a much thicker, this is going to be extremely warm. In fact, I think even on those super low cold days here in Illinois, I'm going to be hot with this on my neck. But I just love that color work. Oh my gosh. That is such a pretty design. This part was kind of hard, like with the little S-shaped things, because there's not an easily memorizable pattern to it. But the diamond shapes, that was you memorize the number sequence and it's pretty easy. But this was a little more difficult. But I just love this color combination and everything. Davenport cowl. I bought this from Elgin Knitworks, which is the store that no longer is. They had a sample in the shop and I saw it and I thought, I need to make that too. So I started it, just haven't gotten around to finishing it yet. What's next here? Oh, also from Elgin Knitworks. I'm almost positive I did not buy these at the same time, and I'm kind of surprised that I cast them on close to the same time. This is Earth Unique Fingering Yarns, and it is a pattern that comes free with the yarn. And so this is, what is this called? Unique Fingering Chevron Scarf. And so it looks almost exactly the same as what I'm wearing in the colors. But so I chose 2 different colors. And my second colorway, I think it's just too much of a difference. So I think what I might do is go, obviously I can't go back to Elgin Knitworks because they have closed. But I'm sure I can find Earth Unique Fingering Yarns and buy this colorway again. I'm fairly certain they still make it, but it is a self-striping yarn. And I have the pattern right here. Oh my gosh, can you tell it's been thrown around a bit? And it looks like 3003 is one of my colorways and 3025. So I'll just have to figure out which one this is. I'm pretty sure that this purpley one, I know where I've seen that before. So that's how this turns out. And yeah, it's got some of the same colors in it, but it is so purple dominant that I feel like this scarf is not going to look cohesive if I do it in the 2 different colorways. I don't know. But I do think that I want to just rip out this color and do it all in the one color. So we'll see. Maybe I'll get around to that. Maybe I won't. I do feel like this is something that I could very easily give to someone and not be sad that I've lost it forever, because while I think this is gorgeous, I don't wear a lot of scarves. So I don't know who I could give this to, at least not at this moment. We'll see. But that's my next WIP. The Berroco blanket I have is next, and then like everything else I have listed, my 4 most recent cast-ons are the ones that I considered my current works in progress. What do you know about that? I think that's interesting that I cast on new things and then all of my older things just kind of go by the wayside. So I think this going through things has really given me some food for thought about what I do want to bring back to my current works. I think probably this is my jump off point to, I just finished my first full week of summer. So I start summer school next week, and I will still have a lot more time to knit than I did during the school year. We have half days of school. We have no Fridays. So I definitely will have more time to knit, more time to record, more time to do other things. But as I had stated in my last episode, what I want to do is record every week. And right now, I think this coming week, what I will do is work on my older works in progress, do a recording about what I completed for that, and that will be published in the fall. And then the following week, I will work on my summer projects, the things that I've been working on, and then produce another episode about that, which will be published 2 weeks from today. Hopefully. So that is my ongoing plan, is to just do things week by week and record every other week for the specific time period. I don't know if I said that in a way that makes sense to you, but it made sense to me. So, with that being said, I expect a new cast on in the next episode, and I will see you at that time. Remember, if you want to be entered to win the drawing in the next episode for this Sandy bag, comment below. I have given you the prompt. Remember to like, subscribe, survive, and thrive, and share the show with all your friends. I'll see you in the next episode. Thanks for watching.